Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to VEExpo conference for year 2021. So my name is Eva, and I will be the moderator for today's conference talk session. Okay, so before we start, let us understand a bit about the organizer and the event organizer today, okay? So hosted by Private Education Entrepreneurs Association of Malaysia, PM, VEExpo 2021 is the first ever and the largest virtual Malaysian education platform. So through this expo, parents will be able to explore the education options near to their house, near to their home. Okay. Besides that, VEExpo also arrange a variety of conference talk and forums to help parents to gain more knowledge related to children's development and other education related topics. Okay, so for those that have not visited VEExpo, please click into the link that we are going to share in our comment, or you can actually type in www.veexpo.my to actually visit this VEExpo main lobby. Okay, so you may register and visit different education booths. On top of that, VEX 10,000 ringgit Malaysia. So you would just need to register yourself into VEExpo and earn more points by visiting more booths and interacting with more booths. If you're lucky enough, you may win some attractive prizes like brand new mobile phones and kitchen appliances. Okay, so you still have today, tonight, and tomorrow, one whole day, because the lucky draw winner result will actually we're going to have the result announcement tomorrow evening. Okay, so all right, okay, great. So let me introduce you to today's speaker. So we're very lucky to be able to invite Mr. Keeping, Mr. Ng Keeping, the IPO Finance Advisor of Kidios Education Group, to share about starting your business in education industry. So every company has the potential to grow big. Okay, so all we need is a good guide and a good business matching. Our speaker today, Mr. Keeping, a managing partner of Freedom Venture, whom has a vast corporate advisory experience in fundraising, in business matching, as well as brings the company for listing and SMEs in Malaysia, in Singapore, Indonesia, and China. So the entrepreneurs are learning about listing and funding, okay, in this few countries. So the Junta government in China even invited Keeping to be their advisor and presenter at their regular CEO IPO program in the province for their business people. So in year 2019, Mr. Keeping was awarded the Certificate of Appreciation as a speaker at the conference organized by the Perak government for the Invest Perak project, a business and trade collaboration conference with Junta government in China. So Keeping's mission is to help you grow from starting to listing, okay, to grow the business from starting to listing. So let us get some ideas from Keeping today, this evening, and to see what can we look for when starting an education business. Okay, so please give Mr. Keeping a round of applause. Okay, you can comment some applause in your this comment part. And Mr. Keeping, you may share screen now. Okay, please unmute yourself.
Good evening. Give me a second. Let me just share screen. Eva,
okay,
so
you
need to unshare the screen. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. So while we're waiting for Mr. Keeping to share screen, so remember to please share out this live event. Okay. Share to your page, share to your different groups, share to your WhatsApp groups. And
you need to take a few pointers, few ideas and few heads up, few certain pointers, and the rest, you just have to take the leap of faith and believe the partner you're working. The right partner is very important. Which partner you work with will bring you to the right journey and direction. If you work with the wrong partner, then I'm sad to say, I'm sorry, you may not achieve what you want to achieve. Now let me continue with the next slide first. Now, I like this statement. This Malcolm X is actually American. He said, "Be deprived from education." So he actually mentioned this before. He actually said, "Education is a passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for today." No, don't you all agree about this? Education is the key to most of the thing. No, education gives us insight. Like now, if you have some insight of what to start an education business, will it be not good for you to give you a reference point that your success rate is so much higher and better comparative if you do not have a reference point. Now, just let me give you what I'm going to share today. Overview. Of course, there's a lot of steps. I'm just going to cut short to 6 steps because we have a very short time. Otherwise, if you talk to those in the industry experts, they will tell you a lot of steps how to kickstart. So I'm just focused to 6 steps and also some takes away that of this industry. Now, just a quick overview. Now, in education, I'm not going to focus on universities. I know all of you know there's a lot of universities around, private universities, government universities. There's so many of them. Government alone, I think there's about 20 universities a day. So what I'm going to focus is that those 18 years and below. Now you have this thing called TASCA, where it involves infant and childcare center, which is 0 to 4 years old. There's also Pusat Jagaan, childcare center, 4 to 18 years old. These are the ones that take care of your children when you are busy at home or are busy at work. Then there's also preschool, that's 4 to 6 years old. Then also Pusat Perkembangan Minda, enrichment center, 4 to 18 years old. This is where you give them the extra activities, extra co-curriculum things that they can actually go and learn. Then, of course, tuition center. You have the earlier years, probably you have not heard of. Now, tuition center is like a must thing. Now, you need to go to tuition center so that you can actually cover. There's so many things for them to learn that they have not enough time to learn in school. They have to go to tuition center to learn. Now, besides this, well, those in this category, there's about 3.3 million. Those are the family one. 18 years old is actually about 9.5. Within this population, 0 to 4 is actually 2.6 million. Don't you think 2.6 million is a lot of number? And 5 to 9 is also 2.6 million. This one is from the government source. Then overview of the preschool, 4 to 6. Now, I just give you an overview of one category. I don't have time to give you too many. It's 4 to 6 years old. Is that MOE registered preschool? There's about 6,000 comparative to 2.0. Then other agencies, preschool, we're talking about 25. No, fairly okay number, but comparative, you have about close to 3 million students there to support them. Now, these are all the source from the Minister of Education. The next one, sorry, where is it? Okay, now preschool overview. Total student enrolled in preschool 4 to 5 in 2008. Unfortunately, sorry, we can't give you, I'm not able to get you, the data is a bit slow. So it's about 800,000 people in 2008. It's 4 to 5 years old category. Now, assuming now there are 1 million population, for rounding up purpose, around 14% of students are not getting proper preschool education, or at the unregistered center. Now, don't you think there's a growing demand that do not have enough quality education center in Malaysia? There is a lot of outside tuition center, but what I'm talking about, do you have a quality education center? Very, very important when we talk about education, we talk about quality, if we don't talk about quantity. No, this is we need to bear in mind. Now, what is the common education centers around? Now, there's one very common called branded centers, which is direct owned branded centers. No, there are also franchise centers. Excuse me. There are also licensed centers. Now, what are these? Branded centers are those with centers that are established using individual own branding. Okay, one of the things that branded centers, you can know that we also with us today is actually EduWiz. Yeah, how's the big difference? Franchise is actually support franchise. When you go into franchise, you get support from the inception to implementation. To the, you have a lot of support. When you come to licensing, basically you are getting the intellectual property of the license owner, and in a way you actually between these two. Yeah, the key difference is that you have to, one is actually governed normally in franchise, just to add a bit, they actually the period is actually 5 years, whereas in another one, the control franchise, in terms of control, franchisor design and come up with a program and come up with a franchise system, whereas licensing, they just give you the rights. You come up with your own design, your plan, your education system. They give you the licensing of their system, but they don't actually control or design for you. Now, registration of trademark, it requires by ministry for franchise, but the other one is not required. Then what about loan and support? No, we do business, we need loan. Franchise, we can get PNS loan. Whereas licensing is just an any other business. You just have to go to the bank probably, or go to your friends to get your loan. Then in terms of renewal, franchise you cannot terminate unless it's for good cause. That means there is actually stated clearly in the franchise agreement where activity. So they always, there's a role in this business when you franchise rather than licensing. No franchise, if you want to go into that from here, everyone is very common known is that if you own a McDonald's, if you open a franchise for McDonald's, do you think the success rate of having a franchise is very McBurger? No, someone there's no name in the market. Do you think if you hold the franchise of that McBurger, will your success rate be very high? Of course, obviously, it's actually things like McDonald's. Then again, in this industry, which are the branded centers that is eligible in here? So if you are here today, check around at the Expo. There are a lot of brands here today. Do check them out and see what is suitable for you. Now, why education business? Now, first I say that no, it's easy to establish. Yes and no. Why I say it's easy? If you, like I say, if you get the franchise licensing, it give you step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10. No, it's from starting to implementation is all ready for you. Even some to the extent how you design your school, how your school fees, the program all actually work for you. So that's why I mean easy to establish. That's why look for the right partner to work with. Now, education is the evergreen industry. Why this? Since we are born, most of us today, we have to go through education. Don't you think education evergreen industry? No. From the day we come out, we actually learn. Are we learning the structured education or not structured education? Of course, with the structured education, we can learn easier, faster, and better. Now, just a quick insight of this. How big is this market and how good is this market? In 2018, the global market for childcare reached a value of nearly 339 billion in 2018. Now, in 2022, what is the number we're looking at? It's expected to grow with an average rate of 11.3% to nearly 520 billion by 2022. Don't you think this big? Asia Pacific is the largest market for childcare. We are part of Asia Pacific, yeah, and accounted for almost 38.4% of the global market. Just imagine how big is our market, and we are part of the large market. Now, the Malaysian government has always been continuing to facilitate local private education in promoting Malaysia as an education hub for international education in sustainable terms. So Malaysian government is actually promoting education. So this is also the opportunity. That's the reason why I say education is an evergreen industry. Now, the other one, as I mentioned again, I just need to repeat again. I think it's not enough. I just need to repeat again that, franchise support. Franchise support is that, if you're opting for a preschool franchise, you are making the right decision. Because, like I say again, support from inception to implementation, they help you to plan with a well-designed curriculum, teachers development, throughout training, preschool operation, teacher marketing, and so much more. They do all these things for you if you're under franchise. Not only that, now with today's market, a lot more parents have disposable income. Parents are very, very willing to spend money on their kids nowadays. Not like the earlier years. Today's thing, kids are like they're everything. They're willing to spend money as long as it's best for the kid. So with the disposable income, they are more aware of preschool. Not like earlier days, you thought you never heard of preschool. Today's world, in today's market, your preschool is a must for every kid before you go to primary school. And the preschool concept is catching up. It's catching up. It started from the developed country. Now in Malaysia, in this region, preschool is coming up. You can see probably in every garden, probably even in the garden they see, there's at least one kindergarten is there. Some even you see in a condo, there's a kindergarten. Some you see in the office, they actually create a childcare. Childcare in there. But with all this franchise support, you can do all this because they give you the system, they give you the method, they give you the way how to do it. And highly possible, this is a profitable opportunity business for you today. Now, what about another point? Work-life balance. Now, we always talk about work-life balance. What I mean by work-life balance? One of the things a lot of people say work-life balance, I want to spend time with family, not just in office. Correct or not? We always say we work 9 to 5. Probably some people have to work overtime. We go back, we don't get to see the kids fall asleep already. When I go up, the kid still not awake, I'm already out in the office. Now, what is work-life balance? What education allows you that? Imagine this allows you to have more time with your kids, and because you're training kids, yeah. And also, kids will understand and learn about education when you're actually in this business. And normally in this business, you are only working probably about 3 to 4 hours or 4 to 5 hours. And the rest of the time, you have time for your family. This is one of potential ideal work-life balance that you can ask for, especially for those mother No, when you actually no need to stay back or need to forego your career because you have children. This is one option that you can actually consider. You don't have to forego that. This is actually a business that you can actually have both while you have a career and also while you have your kids with you together. Now, like I said, say earlier, parents are willing to spend for their own kids. Today's world, parents are actually working parents. Both are always working most of the time. Both parents are actually working. Why? No, living sometimes is more expensive, but all of us are actually working, looking for career. Now, most of the time, we employ maids to take care of the kids, or we send to nanny, not very common, actually, to take care of the kids. But the question is that when you leave your kids to the nanny and to the maid, are they having a quality education while they're staying there? No, imagine you're in this business. Parents were willing to spend their children to preschool so that the children be taken care of because they're busy, yet they have education, ideally quality education. But partnering with the right partner, you were able to provide quality education to the market, to the parents that need to ensure their kids have quality education. Nowadays, some Malaysian parents may neglect their children growth. So this is why opportunity is here to promote to these parents, say, look, you are busy working. No worry, we are here to support you. We're here to give you the time as a temporary parents while you're working to your kids. At the same time, to give them education, quality education, structured education while you're busy at work. And you can always focus as in your career. You don't have to worry. I leave it with my maid. Ayo, what is the maid doing with my kid? Ayo, is my kid been actually taken care of? Or a lot of people heard about stories. Maid torture the kids. No, this is an opportunity that you can actually promote to the parents. The opportunity is there. That's the reason why today's world, parents with affordable income, they are very willing to send their kids to any education center, preschool, so that they ensure few things. They are groomed, they have the exposure, they start to learn and read and write at the early age, so that they have an early start comparative to those that don't have this opportunity. They start to learn, be exposed to other enrichment program, also even exposed to get to what? Very important, to connect to other kids. You see not? That's why is this important? You are actually, by in this business, you are actually doing a business where you add value to their parents. Now, beside this, after the why, now let me talk about the 6 steps. Of course, there's always 2 options. You can always start your business on your own brand. You can be successful, yes, no issue. But what are the challenge? Probably you have to first think, what is the co-curriculum that you're going to teach? How are you going to position yourself? What target market you're looking at? And also, where you're going to get your resources of teachers when you start your own brand. When you get a license or a franchise of an adjacent brand, you actually don't have to worry about this. The franchisee, if you get the franchisee, they will even guide you how to get a license, how to do it. Step 1, 2, 3, everything. No, it's all done. Nothing wrong with starting your own brand. But if you're given a chance to kickstart faster, with a faster return, less error, rather than you do your own brand where you do a lot of trial and error. No, trial and error is always very painful. No, you are walking a road that no one has walked before. I mean, there's a lot of people walked before, but if you're starting your own brand, you're walking like your own journey, trying to paint a white piece of paper that you have no road yet, but you're trying to paint it up to let people see, to drive to something. Where you get a franchise, there's already someone has done it before. They already get the method, the know-how. So it's your choice, option 1, option 2. No, for me, if it were to me, I will go for option 2. Very simple. Why option 2? It's like an ABC going to a business. I got the formula. People already make all the mistake. They already fine-tune the mistake. I already know roughly how much cost I need to start. No, I know all these things. Then I have a reference point. I have a buddy to bring me along, to tag along, to bring me to the to let me have a less, what do you call it, pit hole to fall into if I go into franchise. No, there's so much more positive than starting your own brand. And bear in mind, starting your own brand, if people doesn't know you, you have to spend a lot of money in marketing, promoting a brand. Where you go franchise, you go to a right one, a branded one, they already done all the marketing. You just need to plug into the system. You know, like you buy computer nowadays, it's like plug and play. How you just plug it in and you just work. No, it's like a plug and play system when you go into franchise. Where you start own brand, it's like you're building your own thing. You have to go and find the, for example, if you build a house, you're going to find the bricks, this, that, no, you cannot plug and play. No, so there's a big difference in option 1 and 2. Now, when you want to kickstart, what you need to look at, first thing, of course, the brand and reputation. No, if you, whether you agree or not, brand and reputation is very important. If you want to partner with someone, will you want to Google the person? In today's world, will you Google the person? Hey, this brand is a reputable brand. Will you even ask your friends, your family, even your peers that, hey, is this brand is the right brand that I want to partner with? No, is this brand that have any flaws that in the market that I should be aware of? That's where you want. That's why reputation is number 1. No, I put in number 1. So reputation is very, very important. So choosing the right brand is very important. Today you're here, go to Expo. There's a lot of brand here. Look at it. Decide yourself. The next one, of course, the price. Wow. We're always very cautious in what we spend. The price, yeah. No, price and quality. No doubt we have to do price and quality. You want to have a good price, good quality, but if you don't have a brand, you cannot get the intrinsic value of the price. You know, even though you're good, you don't have a brand, you cannot get a right pricing. Now, if you tag to the right brand, your pricing is so much more easier. Starting your own brand, pricing is a challenge. What should you price the students? Why do you think people will think that you can deliver that kind of value to them? Yeah. Now, location. Don't you think location, doing business is very, very important? No. It's actually one place that for you to retain your, first thing, the students. Why? Is your location giving convenience for the parents to drop by to your place so that easy for them to deliver and pick up the kids? And also the other location is the employee convenience. In today's world, no employee will also want convenient. No, not only the parents. No, they want to work. They also want to be convenient, right? Convenient. Why? I go to work. I have LRT. Wow, fantastic. You know, if it's a walking distance, even better. No, all I need to drive but do I have to go to toll? Or is it like driving is 10 minutes, or is it actually half an hour? Or no, if you, is assuming, no, imagine you just have a one location is out, way out of thing. Do you think people will come? That's why location is very, very important. The other one, promotion and publicity. Like I mentioned earlier, I can't mention enough is that, are you doing enough promotion and publicity if you want to start on your own? Now, with the right franchise, or famous brand, they already done the promotion. They already done the publicity. You just need to plug in the system. Plug in the system is so much easier compared to you go and do it on your own. Bear in mind, when you do it on your own, you need to go and budget for it. You need to go and design it. You need to probably engage. You can actually start on your own. Probably some of you actually try digital marketing. During this MCO, a lot of people go and learn digital marketing, email marketing. Try to do that. It's a hassle. I did that. I also tried that. It's a hassle. Now imagine if you have a right partner that do all this for you. So choose the right one so that you can benefit from all this promotion and publicity. What you want in this area in doing business, one thing is very important. How are you leveraging your network? And how are you leveraging on your partner? Having a franchisee is like leveraging on your partner. Leveraging on what? On their brand, on their strength, on their promotion, on the publicity. Imagine how much faster you can actually grow comparative you try to do everything on your own. Yeah. Now, the other one is people. Oh, this is one of the toughest in doing business. People is like, if you have done business before, you know how difficult it is to handle people. First thing, when you talk people, are they suitable one? Are you getting the suitable people? Second thing, are you providing the right training? No? Do you even have the training program that is suitable for them to train in for you to start with your own brand? You want to look for that something is already there, they already have a system how to recruit people, how to incentivize people, how to train people, and how to retain these people so that they can continue to grow together with you. Bear in mind, this industry is a people business. You are taking care of other people, children, yeah? And if you don't get the right people, what will the implication? No, you want to get the one that is willing to give, because you are teaching or educating the younger one. How you qualify these people? Do you even have a system to do that? Having the right partner will teach you and guide you how to have the right system to evaluate and identify these right people for you so that you have less headache. Imagine if one of your people does not do it well and you get called from your parents. One day, one parent, you also big headache already. So by having the right people, doing the right thing, you will have less hassle of all this. Yeah. Of course, we are in education business. We cannot avoid or cannot ignore syllabus and facilities. Now, syllabus. Syllabus, do you even have, if your own brand, do you even have a right syllabus that you want to teach? Like I mentioned earlier, what is the positioning? What's the syllabus? If you plug in the system, all the syllabus are there. No? Besides that, the syllabus, when you evaluate, are you using the latest syllabus? Or are you using up-to-date syllabus and curriculum? Or are they using, that you evaluated, they're using 2 to 5 years ago syllabus and curriculum, which is already probably when they go to primary school, this thing what they learn is probably outdated. So you may want to evaluate this. No, the syllabus is very important so that it's suitable for the current time. Like in today's one, the syllabus, you probably know, wondering, I don't know whether they are doing it. Our syllabus, probably the syllabus they could be teaching about how to do digitalization for the young, exposing them on digitalization. No, everyone is talking about digitalization. No, this is the thing. Are they in the trend now, the syllabus, or are they still going back to the, the Stone Age period kind of syllabus? This is very, very important. And also, the syllabus you are doing, is it the latest trend? And what facilities? Are they using the latest facilities, or are they using the old facilities? Latest facilities actually, if you're in education, facility is very important because it helps the children to interact on the facilities and to actually have a growth. The facilities and the most of the time to help them to stimulate their growth, stimulate their creativity, stimulate their idea, that they can actually widen their horizon in learning. Beside this, of course, there's a lot more. I just covered 6. Beside this, probably you want to talk about, what's a SOP operation and so forth. What about, is there any merchandise that you need to look at? You also talk about management skill. Management skill is not like you go in, already. Is there a management skill for you, to look into all this? Now, I hope with all this, you all can have some idea and what to look for, how to kickstart education business. Now, before I end, I want to say sky is the limit in education. Now, I want to emphasize again before I close this, is that education is a growing stage. And Malaysia is prioritizing education by allocating the largest budget to education to promote Malaysia as a global hub for education. This is an opportunity. Malaysia is promoting, government promoting, why are we waiting for? So I encourage all of you to go around the Education Expo, to check it out, what is it around, use a few pointers that I actually shared earlier. I hope these pointers were able to give you some idea, some views, how to look into or how to select the right education partner for yourself when you want to start this business. Thank you. Eva, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much to Mr. Keeping. Okay, so come, let me share my screen again. Okay, so thank you to Mr. Keeping for the interesting sharing. Okay, so and then because a lot of our sharings that I've already attended previously, it's more on like education part, but from Mr. Keeping's point of view, it's more on like business part. Okay, so before we move on to the Q&A, because we do have some questions in the comment section already. Before we move on to the Q&A session, I would like to remind all of you again, okay, to visit VEExpo online education booths. Okay, so if you have not visited, you can actually type in www.veexpo.my. Okay, and then you're going to see this screen, okay, like that, the main hall of this VEexpo. Okay, so then you can actually sign up and actually visit and interact with different booths. Okay, so you may also check on the map directory, because they actually use map directory so that it is easier for you to identify which nearest school is to you. Do they have, okay, are they in this VEexpo to your place? Okay, so then it will be easier for you to find for the suitable education centers and services that are nearby to location. So remember, the more booths that you visit, the more chances you get to win lucky draw prizes. Okay, so there are actually 10,000 ringgit Malaysia worth of lucky draw prizes. So you still have tonight and tomorrow whole day to visit and interact with different booths to collect your points. Okay, so the higher the points that you have, then the more chances that you're able to actually win something back. Okay, so all right, so right now let's start our Q&A now. Okay, so for this Q&A, let me just check through this comment section. Yeah, so okay, so for comment section here, we do have some comments, and we do have some questions. Okay, so I see that here. Okay, let's maybe go through the comments first. Yeah. Okay, so comments here, we have someone saying that, you know, many declare themselves as franchisor, but they do not even know who is this Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri dan Hal Ehwal Pengguna, which is this domestic trade ministry. Okay, so yeah, because franchise actually is under this KPDN HEP. Okay, so I think this is actually, you know, quite true, because a lot of this company, they're saying that they're actually franchise, but actually they're not. Okay, so there are also some from Mr. Kidas actually shared that it is okay for you to get a brand or curriculum from a licensor or franchisor as long as you have done your own survey. Okay, so because nowadays we can see that there are actually more and more licensors actually also do provide more all-rounded services to their licensees. Okay, so yeah, it's just that they're actually governed by different acts. Okay, so and also one more comment. So also from Mr. Kidios, that he said that instead of like choosing big brands, okay, so instead of choosing big brands, so he will actually choose for the aggressive kind of brand. Okay, the brand may not be number one in may not be the number one brand in the market, but the aggressive brand will actually develop more competitive curriculum and marketing plan and cost effective like solutions, and also they will have more time to take care of you know, their franchisees or their licensees, which I think is quite true. Okay, so okay, let's move on to questions. Yeah, okay, so over here we actually have an audience asking about, is current pandemic COVID-19 suitable for opening kindergarten? Okay, so what is your view? So Mr. Keeping, maybe you can share your view.
Yeah, I think all of us have had having a rest at home for nearly a year. No, I think the school as well. And I think recently the government also announced that we're going to open back in January, very soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very soon.
Very soon. So now imagine, I also observed there's also quite a number of kindergarten and also preschool actually closed during this period. So which means the number I showed earlier will have actually reduced. Don't you think now this is an opportunity and the right time to catch a wave where government is opening back? You don't have to worry. No, I think government will not actually hold on to actually not opening the school. Life had to move on, and with the number have reducing, don't you think it's actually an opportunity now actually to look at the right kindergarten or a brand that you want to partner with and take the wave and move on? Yeah, this is my take.
Yes. Okay, so yes, I actually quite I'm actually quite agreeing to this Mr. Keeping, because same, because I'm actually also from a preschool industry. Okay, so we can see right now that, you know, a lot of our peers like operators from different brands or from their actually own tadika, they actually sold operators. So they're actually kindergartens closing down within this few months. Okay, so after during this pandemic, the start of like April up until now, there are actually more and more kindergartens actually closing down. But the opportunity are still there because the children are still there. So with the decreasing supply, so the demand actually also go bigger. So in my opinion, I also think that right now, at this point of time, is actually quite a good time, because the worst has already, you know, passed in 2020. By the time it's actually very ambiguous. A lot of people don't know what will happen. Okay, but now with vaccine coming in and, you know, things like that, I also agree with Mr. Keeping that this is actually indeed a lot of people think that it's a crisis, but it's actually an opportunity. Okay, so next question by Wei. Okay, so how much to prepare if I want to start an education business? Maybe Mr. Keeping, you can actually give some
I think
point of view.
To start education business is actually in the range of probably 150 to 200,000 plus minus, no, depending who you partner with. No, that would be a good reference number for you to actually look at. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so because I actually look at the comment part here, so there's an audience named Lawrence. I think he's also quite familiar with the industry, he's saying that around 200,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, okay, it's actually quite same for the answer. But also there's another audience say that to start a business in education is usually from 100,000 to 500,000. It depends on the segment and plan. Okay, so maybe for like 500,000, it will be like a larger scale of school. Okay,
I totally agree with you, Eva. I totally agree with the person, because starting a business depends on how you want to do it, assuming that you want to do a very high profile, a very high profile center, it could be end up with 500,000. Yeah. You have the right
yes.
one, it could be about, let's look at what is chewable, what is acceptable, and what is easy for you. Not too much baggage. You don't start with too much baggage when you start a business. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, true. And then like that's why, like, let's say if anyone that wants to come into this industry to start a kindergarten, for example, or a learning center, maybe you also want to see not just the pricing, but what is the value that comes with this pricing.
Yes.
Okay, and maybe size is just one thing, but another thing maybe it's like the value.
Totally.
Okay, so okay, yes, okay, so another questions. Okay, from Hanling, it says that so the speaker actually mentioned also on the franchise support. So what support usually that we can get from signing up a franchise? Okay, so maybe because maybe Mr. Keeping, you have already you're a bit familiar with like different few this different franchise program or license program. So maybe you can share some of your point of view.
Okay, generally, I think they will share with you on the system and process, the training, then also the how to do the pricing model, the core curriculum, of course, of the training for the teachers, how to do the selection, what is the right selection, like refer back to the earlier the 6 point that I mentioned. They actually focus on the key things, good enough for you to actually do a profitable business. That means the system and process, the people, the co-curriculum. Of course, they also even come into tell you, advise you on the location, whether you have a right location. These are the things that the franchise normally will look at. They will give you also the indicative. They'll tell you one outlet how much, yeah.
Okay, so then because I actually hear you mention about the pricing and things like that. So also over here, maybe I think it's also a good time to share your point of view with the audiences that what do you think as a business point of view? What do you think it's a reasonable ROI period? So how long does it take to actually have this return of investment, which is reasonable for education business, for example?
I think I think everyone, when you do business, want to get money as fast as possible. But
Yes,
yet we
yes.
have to be practical, have to be practical, because bear in mind we are doing real business. We are not doing money game business or whatever. You can see overnight flip, So a reasonable business with a good margin and all those, we are talking most likely is within 1.5 years to 2 years. These are the kind of return ROI period that we're looking at. Of course, there's a lot of factors why I say 1.5 to 2 years, plus minus. It's because depend on the system, the people, the location, how many students they come in, and also the pricing, and also your costs.
Okay, so yes, okay, so okay, so 1.5 to 2 years, I think it's actually also considered quite fast already.
Yep.
Okay, so because in education, like what Mr. Kipeng actually mentioned, it is actually not a hit and run business. Okay, it's not like you want to look for a very, very fast ROI, because it's not like it's having a trend. Okay, so it is actually a much more long-term business. So I also can share a bit about my experience in Edwis, because I'm actually working for Edwis. So Edwis franchise, we actually also do have like a usual ROI for our franchisees is around 1.5 to 2 years. About the same like what Mr. Keeping actually mentioned, because one thing that maybe we have to look at is how long is your contract. Okay, so like let's say our franchise agreement where we sign with our franchisees, because for Franchise Act, the minimum is actually 5 years for a franchise agreement. So if the franchise agreement is actually 5 years, so it will not be making sense if the ROI, it's nearly to 5 years, 4 or 5 years. It's actually not attractive because you haven't even start making money or take back your investment money, then your contract already almost ending. Okay, so this is also, you know, some of the sharing. Okay, so let's see if we have any more questions. Okay, so also over here, because we also, maybe we can also look at, over here there's one question, extra one question from this speaker. Any specific areas we need to be cautious about before establishing a franchise relationship with franchisor? Okay, so means that maybe some tips or some advice on before to be cautious about before establish a franchise relationship with franchisor. Okay, so this is actually by one of the speaker on the floor. So maybe from Keeping, maybe you can share a bit.
I think you need to do your preliminary, at least the preliminary due diligence. No,
Yeah.
I think the very common due diligence that everyone can do is actually to Google it. No, we always go to Mr. Google to see, hey, any name be mentioned or this this thing, or you Google, what's the, no, any comment on this in this franchise. Of course, the other one is that you want to check with the education authorities whether any reports have been made on these parties, no, anything, and of course the people around the industry, you know, the especially if you have friends or family that actually attended their schools, you may want to ask for the feedback and all those. Do your due diligence. Going into any business, always carry out your own due diligence. The only question is that how deep the due diligence going to be. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, true. Like asking around is actually a good way. For example, maybe you cannot actually trust whatever the franchisor said because you just knew them, right?
Yeah.
You just like, you know, want to get to know them, then you might actually be worried about everything that they say is actually all sweet talk. So maybe also can actually ask around, maybe like to ask the franchisees,
Yes.
because franchisees are, you know, together with the brand. Okay, so or ask around, or you know, yes, not just in education business so it's like in any kind of business, when you want to actually establish a connection or establish a partnership, you definitely have to do some background check, some due diligence,
Yes.
like what Mr. Keeping actually mentioned. Okay, and then 2 minutes ago another question come in. Okay, so this question is about education business is easy to establish. Okay, like what Mr. Keeping just now shared in your slides. Okay, but this speaker is mentioning that, but from what I know, from what she knows, okay, we have to do a lot of things like getting license, prepare syllabus, hiring teacher, training, etc. Isn't it quite difficult? What is your point of view,
Okay,
Mr.
now,
Keeping?
like I mentioned earlier that, yeah, of course, you can go all this, you have a checklist. I think you go there, you can easily get a checklist. The question is that sometimes you get a checklist, we also don't know how to do it. No, it's always good when you want to go in business, you want to partner or leverage with someone that already done it, have a system, can even guide you, or even better, they do it for you or hand out your hand to do it. So that's why I say it's easy to do it if you look for the right partner and partner with the right party, you know, when you want to start this business. Yeah, I hope this actually explains.
Okay. Yeah, so like just now where Mr. Keeping actually shared, you either can actually do it by your own. Okay, so but however, I really recommend that for those that do it by your own, definitely you must have a little bit of your experience in this industry so that the risk actually smaller. But if you're actually new to this industry, so going into franchise or any partners or partner up with someone with experience, it's actually a good idea. So then things will not get so difficult. Okay, it actually will be not so risky as well as not so hectic. Okay, so thank you so much for your sharing, Mr. Keeping.
You,
Because of
Eva.
time constraint issues, so we have
Yeah.
to come to the end of today's sharing session. Okay, so once again, we would like to thank Mr. Keeping, okay, on his precious time to share with us so much valuable insights and knowledge. Yeah, so I'm sure all of us surely have some useful takeaways. Once again, thank you to Mr. Keeping, and for everyone else, thank you everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.